And it says we're live, so I'm going to pretend that we're live. And if anybody's out there in the chats, just chat away and let me know that we're here. Welcome, everyone, to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and I will be your host for today's special show. It is nighttime in the UK, but it's the daytime here in America. We're doing a UK special. This is the special British invasion show that we put together. Today's show is sponsored by Park Lane Tavern. My friend Simon said that's a place to go if you want traditional English food in America. So Park Lane Tavern. I hope I don't get sued by them. They are their sponsors for today's show. Waiting in the green room, I have 5 special guests. Hey, Big Boss, thanks for checking in, man. Let me know my internet's working. We have 5 guests in the green room, including my buddy Simon Gregory, who has been on my show last year. All right. Today's special YouTube plug goes to Time Tunnel Toys UK. That's one word, Time Tunnel Toys UK. Make sure you check them out. I'd like to thank all my subscribers, and 3 of my newest followers are Carlos Garcia, Joshua, one named Joshua, and Stephanie Ladd 101. On tomorrow's show, my regularly scheduled show, Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, it will be Sean Huckster from Huckster's Lab. He is a 3D printer and prints everything 3D for G.I. Joe and Action Man. So check him out, Sean Huckster, tomorrow night on the 8 o'clock show. Now, let's see who had nothing better to do on their Sunday evening in England than to hang out with me. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to start with my buddy right here, who's in the room next to me. Simon, you ready there, buddy?
Good day, mates.
Oh, shit. Bring up
wrong country. Sorry about that. Yeah, hello.
Hey, I got an introduction for everybody, and yours is this, my friend. He may live in the States now, but that's only because his toy collection is too expensive to send back to the UK. This is my friend and fellow collector, Mr. Simon Gregory.
Yay! Thank you for having me again. It's great to be here, and thanks for hooking me up with your computer, or Denise hooking me up with her computer, because mine doesn't work.
But, anytime.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Next up. And there is no pub in England that this gentleman hasn't hit at least twice. This is Mr. Alan Dawson, a.k.a. The Winch.
How you doing?
All right, buddy. I'm glad we finally set this up. It's only taken a couple months, but
yep.
Hopefully we can make this work today, all right?
Yep, no problem.
And next up, rumor has it that this guy is the man that broke up the Beatles in the 1970s. Welcome to the show. This is Mr. Gary Morgan.
Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Thanks for joining us today, sir.
Gary's Action Man channel, I should probably have guessed here.
Right on. And where are we next? Nick. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
And are you ready for your introduction, sir?
Mate, go for your life.
This man once swam the English Channel, got out of the water in France and said, hell no, and turned around and swam back. This is Sir Nick.
Hey, the upsetting thing was when I realized it wasn't the water that was making it shriveled. But there you go.
Oh, man. And finally, from the UK, I do have one for you too, sir. Are you sitting down?
Do your best.
He has known to eat bangers and mash every day of the week and twice on Sunday. This is your friend and mine, action fan man, Darren Wilson.
Pie mash and liquor. Prefer pie mash and liquor.
I need to get up.
English, you'll know that.
Hey, we got 12 people watching already, and this is a new time frame and a new day for me. So that's actually pretty.
Is that a record? 12 people.
Yeah.
Just for a Sunday.
I thought I was going to have 5, just you 5. So this is great. I'm going to put it on the chats. All right. Can you guys see the chats now?
Yeah.
On the right?
No, I can't.
Well, that's because you're using your phone and you're too damn small. Bro.
I'm using an iPad.
Yeah, if you're using a phone, you're probably not going to see those. Anybody on a laptop or an iPad should be able to see that. Ernie's Attic is with us. Big Boss Jack, Andy, and Indy. Appreciate. Patty's here with us. Patty, right? Yep.
Murray Corrigan.
Some of the usual suspects that are on my show. Ace Allgood. Ace Allgood's here.
Hey, Ace.
Ace is with us tonight or today. All right, so I'm going to go around the room and do what I usually do on my Monday night show. It's called What's New in Your Zoo. So I'm going to start off from the top. What's new in your zoo, sir? And it could be anything from Action Man or traveling or anything you want to talk about. So you're up first, Down.
All right, okay. Well, as you know, or may not know, last weekend was AmCon, so I picked up a couple of things there. So I had, I think you're familiar with this.
Oh, yeah. I bought 2 of those from you in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
I got
mine's
them
in a
signed.
frame.
Yep.
Wow.
So also picked up these, which are pretty hard to find now.
Other way.
There
You
we
there you go.
That's
There
it.
you go.
So I picked up that and a loose box of the bits to go with it. The most interesting thing was this, which is I got this from Bob Breakin. It's not mine. It's in my keeping for the time being. What it is, I don't know whether you can see if I can get it into the camera where you can actually just about make out there's a name on there, which is A.E. Blanchard. Apparently, this gentleman, Alan Blanchard, was the model maker at Palatoy, and he's now in a care home. And his family had asked Bob to go and clear out his collection, so Bob brought a couple of items along, and he wants me to sell them, and the money's to go towards the cost of his care in the care home. So inside the Foot Locker, there is. It's all wrapped up in a plastic bag, but there's basically a complete Highlander. The only thing that's missing is his rifle, and then there's a couple of smaller items like a complete lifeguard's belt with sword and scabbard, and the working mine detector with the metal mines. The Foot Locker itself has got the insert in the lid, but there's no other contents in it. But it is his own because, as I say, it's marked with his name. So Bob's asked me to come up with some way of getting the best possible price for them to contribute towards Alan's care in the care home.
Do a raffle.
Wow.
Yeah, a raffle or an auction of some description, I think, is probably going to be the best. But I'll obviously try and split it up into 2 or 3 lots rather than just one lot.
Alan, this model maker, was he to the 60s and 70s into the 80s, was he, or?
Bob didn't actually go into that in too much detail. I could find out, but he was obviously there, for most of Bob's time. The way he was talking, and Bob was there from '67. So,
and they did all the model making in the was it the plant room? Where the heater,
in the boiler room,
was? Yeah.
Because he said did you come on the tour this time?
Yeah.
Or you, yeah. And he said, somebody said, wasn't it hot? He said it was lovely and warm in the winter. So that's about everything new at the moment, I think.
Are we there? Is everybody there?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm here.
we can.
Yeah.
I think that's everything I've got new to mention at the moment.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. Kind of went blank there for a second. I'm going to bring up Simon. Simon, you got something you brought to my house. Why don't you show that?
Yes. Yeah. I got a lot of hobbies going on. I like to shoot. I like to do blacksmithing, and every now and then I rotate my interest, getting back on Action Man and our 12-inch friends. Very interested in World War II history, especially the home front in London. I don't know if some of you guys might have seen some of my posts of the police box I made with the sandbags and the RAP warden. Well, I brought him with me again. I fixed him back up. RAP guy's got his little civil defense badge, typical mug of tea. And what I'm trying to do now is do a bomb disposal diorama. I'm thinking everybody on the chat now, the Brits, will remember Danger UXB, which was a cool TV show back in the day.
Yeah.
With Anthony Andrews, and it's all about bomb disposal in World War II. So I'm planning a diorama with that, but instead of having a bomb buried in the ground, I'm going to work out do a parachute mine. If anybody's really into the World War II history, Germans used to drop parachute mines on London. They were meant to be seaborne mines, but they chucked them out on land, and they ended up being a lot above surface with the actual parachute still attached. So with my other things, interest and kids and work, I'm going to work on that. I did make a stirrup pump for the ARP, but it don't work. So I'm actually going to try and make that where it actually works and pumps water out the obligatory fire bucket. Always interested in any World War II stuff is fascinating to me. My dad, he remembers Spitfires over London, having dogfights and stuff like that. He fell down he got thrown down the stairs of his Anderson shelter in Croydon in London. So that's probably why he got banged on the head. That's why he's like he is. But and other than that, it's just jumping in and looking at YouTube and getting ideas and stuff like that. But that's my main list of projects right now. So look out for that. I'll post it when I get it done. I'm trying to think what I can use as a parachute mine. I've got a couple of old propane empty gas cylinders, which I might paint up and stick a parachute on. If you're interested in it, just search up parachute mines. It's quite an interesting subject. What they
I've never seen one.
Yeah, they're pretty good. If you just Google it, parachute mine London, you'll see them. They dropped them, and they were designed to just go off sea level, but a lot of them hit the ground, and they were magnetic too. So if you were anything like a bicycle or something nearby, it would set them off. So quite an interesting subject. And
so someone were
because they didn't have to have special brass tools to.
Yes, yeah, they did non-magnetic, non-ferrous metal. Anything like that was. And I don't know if you ever watched the TV show Danger UXB. It's fascinating. You should give that a watch, and they cover that subject in that TV show as well. So it's.
I remember it, but I remember the name, but I don't actually remember watching.
Yeah, it's depending on your age, I guess. I mean, it was 79. It was on TV. I remember it as a kid.
I can remember it.
8 or 9.
I remember it, but I can't recall watching it. I'll have to give it a watch.
You might appreciate it more these days, actually, you guys, especially with what we do, Action Man and G.I. Joe. It's a very interesting subject, and I've got a Royal Engineers cap badge, which somebody sent me, a friend of mine, and so I'm going to adapt a infantry uniform officer, because it was the officer that did the bomb disposal, so I'm going to work on that, put him a cap badge on, and hopefully he don't get blown up when he's defusing.
Hopefully not.
So that's about all my news. I'm just happy to be here. Paul is a good guy, he's a good friend of mine, and I don't pay him enough attention, but I'm kind of busy, so I think he understands, and he's given me some free beer, so I'm okay with that too.
All right, Gary, you're up next, brother. How you doing?
I'm very well, Paul. Very well. Sort of. It's different to spend a Sunday night rather than just laying on the sofa doing nothing, having a beer, and so.
In the green room, Gary said it reminded him of doing a work.
Yeah.
doing a work.
And I'm a sales rep, and I cover the southeast of England and London. I live in the West Midlands, though, and most of our sales meetings now are online. We have 1, 2, or 3 a year physical meetings, and it's always pretty serious. I always try and play a bit of a poker face, especially when the boss is having a rant. And that's I can't. Old habits, I'm afraid, on that. But now I've got some projects coming up. I'm working on my desert warfare video, and I'm going to go through all the Action Man outfits and figures associated with the desert. So that should be out early next month.
Great.
So I'm going to start with the French Foreign Legion outfit, then on to the Desert Fighter, the German motorcycle and sidecar, the German staff car, which were all in Germany Africa Corps livery.
Yep.
Then you had the Africa Corps outfits in the Internationals range, and the Africa Corps Lance Corporal, and the Long Range Desert Group outfit as well. So it'll be a good video. I'm looking forward to it. The script's all finished. I've done some of the voiceover work. I'm going to start filming it next weekend.
I'll tell you, yours is one of the most informative ones.
Yeah,
when I'm studying Action Man, when I'm trying to look about Action Man, I mean, dude, you're like an encyclopedia, man. And then you always apologize at the end. I'm like, why are you apologizing? You got the best video. You're like, oh, if this isn't right, please let me know. I'm like, everything's right, man. Yours is perfect.
Action Man, G.I. Joe, and vintage toys in general it's relative, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows exactly what happened or what was produced, but at least I've got a good idea about what's happening. I don't get everything right, but I think it's It's still a very good guide for people. I give them the basics, and they can find things from there.
Yeah, I definitely learned from you.
Oh yeah. I think everybody, especially us in America that aren't familiar with Action Man, we definitely get some information from your channel.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't been recognised at an airport yet, but of course nobody sees my face, do they? So
That's right.
I
was going to say this
voice.
maybe I should.
But after tonight, you're going to be
Maybe, yeah.
Speaking of pretty faces, look at this guy. He's got to be 25. You're too young to be collection Action Man. What the hell?
No, I'm nearly 40. And I work in construction. So basically, I've got the physical age of about 60. It's just the face is held up reasonable.
Is that what it is?
I'm just making it up. I'm just trying to sound like I'm intelligent.
Yep.
I am one of the younger collectors. I don't know if to go into. I'll save how I got into collecting until later if it comes up, just because don't want to like ruin it all now. But you said, what's new in my zoo? So currently, I haven't been buying much toy related wise. In fact, I sold off a chunk of my collection. I've still got a very good collection. To start funding building a little podcasting studio, which is a cupboard I'm allowed to go into in my house. Because I figured if a broom cupboard was good enough for Andy Peters and Philip Schofield, sorry Americans, you won't know this. It's good enough for me. So I just need Ned the Duck. But someone did comment the other day. It looks like I'm sat in the toilet, so I might install a toilet roll holder there and just lean into it a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Classic, man, classic.
But no, as for what's new, not a lot. I am any money that comes in next. I want to put a couple of shelves in here because I want to display a few of my my toys in here, so there's a bit more personality. Because all I've got in here currently is a board I stole off of a road sign years ago. But the reason I stole it is because I did actually play at that festival. So I thought, well, surely I'm allowed it. That's not theft, really, is it?
No.
But yeah, no, not a lot going on here. With regards to my channel. We do lots of podcasty stuff, but I have got a couple of Action Man videos on there if anyone wants to check back. I did one called The Good, the Bad, the Weird, which I did with a chap called VTR Dave or Vintage Toy Rush.
Yep, I know.
And there's a live stream I did, which was just a comedy of errors. It was a disaster, but we had Bob Breakin on, we had Alan on. If it could have gone wrong, it went wrong. I mean, if you can put up with me getting stressed out with nothing working, Bob spoke some really interesting stuff, so definitely check that out if you want some. If you want to feed some of your Action Man stuff, because who better to hear this information from than Bob? You know, and as Alan always says, we can work out what new lies he's telling. So,
what was that podcast?
Well, that was a live stream I did a while back. But yeah, we had Bob on, and of course, there's a few other occasions we had Bob on because me and Alan did a few promotional streams on the build up to the My Palatoy storybook.
Oh.
So we had like Bob and Brian Hickey on, and so that they're worth going back and watching. If of course it's Bob, it's the hand of Bob. You know, when Bob speaks, we all go silent, don't we? And listen intently. So
somebody just filmed. One of you guys just filmed him last week, wasn't it? At the show, he was walking around the
Gary and I
got
both
two
filmed
videos out,
it.
Yeah.
But Gary's put.
I
I
saw
haven't
those.
done anything with my footage yet.
Yeah, Gary, that was awesome, man. And Bob's actually
Bob's
going to be in the States next month in Atlanta or
Joe Fest, isn't he? Yeah.
Joe Fest, yeah.
Augusta, yeah.
The great thing about Bob is the first time I met him, I mean, it took meeting him probably 9 times for him to remember my name, which is fine. And we joke about that now. But the first, yeah, well, there's a great story. So I've met Bob at multiple shows, and I went to a Star Wars show called Echo Base in the UK, and I got excited because I saw Bob. I've been on streams with him, met him in person, and we're all sat outside Nando's having a bite to eat. So I see Bob walking along. I said, "Oh, I'm just going to go say hello to Bob." And I walked up to Bob. I said, "Hello, Bob. How you doing, mate?" He goes, "Just who are you again?" And all the lads were like, "Ah." I was talking to Bob about that when we met up at another show in Fordingbridge near us a while ago, and he was laughing. And then he's like, I remember your name now, Nick. I just so. But when you meet Bob, the best thing is though is you think, oh, I don't want to take too much of this guy's time, but believe you me, he will talk to you in length about stuff. He's very, very kind and accommodating. So
yeah,
top man.
Very cool. Awesome. All right, sir. Last but not least, Mr. Action Fan himself.
I keep
how you doing, sir?
Hello,
Darren. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, doing great. Can you hear me?
It's a little crackly, but we hear you.
Oh no.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Just keep talking.
All right. Okay. Right. What's new? Right. Okay. I'm doing some UN guys. Working on webbing. 24 foot is something I always do a lot of. But I'm a little bit upset with some of the things I'm doing, so I kind of dropped them projects for a while. But I'll come back to them.
No more. Well, you got some getting off the shelf coming up, don't you? Get off the shelf and in the cupboard.
Yeah, I forgot my YouTube channel, of course. Yeah, the YouTube channel takes up so much time because normally I've got 3 or 4 videos that I'm editing.
Yeah.
And while I'm editing them, I normally find there's something I haven't done. So I have to get back to them. So, and also I need to make an apology because when people, a few people have been sending me things and asking me to give shout outs. And because I'm so behind with the videos, it will look like I'm ignoring their requests, but I'm not ignoring their requests. So if you're watching this now and you watch my YouTube channel, I'll get to you eventually. So, and something interesting as well that don't tell the wife, like I always say. I've just ordered a resin printer. I've got no idea what I'm doing, but I ain't got a clue. I really haven't got a clue. I mean, I've watched some YouTube videos, and that's as far as it's got. But I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to master it, and I'm not going to have to sell the thing.
Hey,
so that's
You've taken that step, though, man. Once you take that step, you're going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. I bought the new. Is it Free Cube? Now I don't even know the names, and I don't even know it's the new one with the. I don't know. It's brand new. It's the big one, and it's just come out. I don't even really. I can't remember the name. Someone asked me earlier, and I was like, I can't even remember the name of it. I know it was Free Cube anyway, and it's a resin printer, but I am clueless. So, but yeah. So I mean, working on my UN guys as well. I think some of you guys might have seen them at Facebook. That the blue didn't quite turn out to be the right blue. I can actually show you now. One of my guys is right here. So originally I thought it was the right blue until I went to bed. I was doing about 3 a.m. Went to bed, and when I woke up, it kind of just didn't quite seem to be the right blue. But
yeah, it's a bit dark.
I don't know whether to repaint it.
It's a little bit darker, isn't it? A bit darker than
unless you're African UN. I've seen some of the African UN. They do have that colour on their helmets, but it is a bit dark. Yeah. And the Achuban UN guy, he's a little bit more aqua in colour, isn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit too turquoise. It should be pale blue, really.
Yeah, the Achuban one's a bit turquoisey. So, but I mean, they're custom, so I can just say it's my interpretation. So
I would say, Darren, it's close enough.
No,
it is close
definitely
enough.
Close enough.
It definitely is. It works.
But I've got. My wife went out and bought me 3 or 4 different colours, and it's just whether I'm going to be bothered to change it or not. I'm halfway through it, so I don't know.
What I think when we're doing these customs, G.I. Joe, Action Man, they aren't Dragon. They aren't, and they aren't exact replicas, and they're stylized.
Yeah.
But that UN, to me, I can't see any problem with it. It looks nice. It looks nice.
My wife's just commented. I'm just laughing at my wife's just comment. Good enough or something like that. But
the cat's out of the bag. I think she knows about the resin printer now.
Yeah, she knows about the resin printer. No, she didn't say I could order it. I just didn't tell her how much it costs.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, that's lethal. I always say, I just hope, God forbid anything happens to me, but I always say I just hope that if I kick the bucket, that Carla don't sell the stuff for what I told her I paid for it, because she'll get done over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if I know my wife, she'll work it out. she'll get the best price. He's still all there. We gone off.
Yeah,
All still here.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm working. That's what I'm working on. I've just had my new mugs printed as well. So
there you go.
About that.
That's the coffee mug,
right?
right?
So that's it for me. I think. Yeah, and
very good, very good.
Well. So I probably won't be selling those. If I ship them, they'll probably all be broken away. I work for all them, so I know back. So for me, yes.
Is he breaking up a little bit, or is that my?
All right.
I think breaking up a bit sounds a bit like when Crichton's going wrong in Red Dwarf.
It does.
Is that my internet playing up?
Look, just your volume a little weird.
Do you want me to even jump back in?
You can do that, yeah. I mean, we're just going to be asking questions now, and I'm looking into chats. If anybody has anything to ask specifically of any one of these gentlemen, just go ahead and chat it in, and I'll try and pull them up. Yeah, you can go off and then come back in and see if it changes it. I sent you guys a list of questions, and I'd like to hit a couple of them if I could right now. So I don't care who wants to go first. There he is. He's back already. There you go. Try that.
I don't know if that's any better.
Yeah, that's better. You sound better.
Yeah. Is that right, lads? Don't know what that's all
Well,
about.
I asked a question about how you guys got started in your YouTube channel, but I guess that's really only for Darren
and me, right?
Me.
Yeah, and Nick, right? Yeah.
Go
ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
Nick and I have got a channel together. We just never do anything with it. Promotions from Bob Breakin.
Yeah, we seem to be the channel. Come to us if you want your stuff promoted. We'll promote it for you. So with my channel just came about from I was watching so many of the people in like the little toy community I'm into, and I just decided to have a go really. And it started off doing toy reviews and like the hands on the table toy reviews, which I love. I love watching these. But what I realized is I'm absolutely terrible at making them. So. And then I realized I wanted to do a podcast as well. So we were doing a video podcast, and I just found that I would put so much time into doing the podcast and enjoying it. So I moved away from the toy stuff, although it's still focused. The podcast is still around pop culture, and the people in the toy community I'm in they're all subjects very much that we can all relate to. I just sort of transitioned to being a podcaster, but as I say, it's primarily done on YouTube. That's not to say that I won't still do the occasional toy thing, because I've got a stream coming up at some point with a couple of chaps who are toy collectors, and it's we're going to have the subject we're going to have is going to be basically one of my friends who's a bit older, because I'm so young, as you can see, and youthful. He claimed that the 80s couldn't be beaten for toy lines, and I said, whoa, now step back there, fella. I said, because I grew up in the 90s and I can name many a great toy line. And he said, and I said, well, let's get a panel together, get you, someone else, and I'll come in with someone else, and we'll have a meeting of minds, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion about what we, why these things are what they are to us. So yeah, there's a lot of waffle there to say how I started my YouTube channel, but hopefully that gave the answer.
Yeah. How about you, Action Fan? What made you get started?
Can you hear me okay at the moment? You hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I was. It's a weird story, really. I was cutting a tree down in my front garden with my son because the roots had hit the house, and so I wanted some tools. So I went out and bought some Ryobi tools. So I did a bit of research on YouTube and found people have Ryobi channels. So I started a Ryobi channel, and kind of that went by the and then we started doing up the back bedroom, and I rediscovered my Action Man collection that I'd brought from a friend called Bob. So if you're watching, Bob, hello, mate. And I'd actually bought them, put them on the shelf. So that's where off the shelf comes from. And I put them on the shelf, and I just forgot about them as such. I used to walk by if I was ever in that room and have a look, and you have your memories, your great memories, and do nothing with them. And then one day I was just sitting down, I think it was a Sunday, I was bored, And I said to my wife, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And I sat in the lounge, talked about starting a channel, and that's where it's sort of gone from there, really. So, so I really enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Gary, how about yours? Yeah. Oh, you definitely edit.
Well,
man. You're good at that.
I started collecting vintage Action Man in the late 90s. I think it was about 97. And I collected for a couple of 3 years. I got about 12 or 13 figures. And I won't say I lost interest, but I started buying Dragon figures afterwards. I lost interest in them, so kept them. Then 2018, 6 years ago, there was an advert on TV for a price from an insurance comparison website called Money Supermarket. And they used vintage Action Man in the advert. And that got me interested again.
Yeah.
Now, there's a Pete Hall, Alan knows him. He said, well, it's the country's oldest established vintage toy shop. So what I did, I've known Pete from years ago. I went down, I saw Action Man. And a little while later, I thought to myself, well, I've got a bit of knowledge of channel now. I didn't have about editing, filming, cameras. I knew nothing. The first one I did was on my phone. And I put it on. It got about 250 hits right away. So I bought a camera afterwards. I got up a laptop and was producing videos for about just over a year. Then, did anybody hear about those copper regulations that came in a few years ago? Copper? Has anybody heard of them?
Yeah.
Well, there could have been an issue with toy videos. Now, in fact, what I did, I deleted all my videos from my channel because I was concerned I couldn't produce anymore. But after about 12 months, I went back to it because then the copper rules are more. I think there was confusion over the copper rules, but after about a year, people knew where they stood. And I started producing videos again, and here I am, 6 years later, and I've had some real growth this year in my channel. So, but it is niched. There's a limit to how many people will watch my videos. And Action Man even so. But I consider my videos entertainment. I don't want to monetize.
Yeah. Well, I'm not monetized either. This is a hobby. This is something fun to do. Darren, you're sideways, brother. All right. Well, now we just got a letter.
I think he's gone.
The funny thing of that advert that Gary mentioned is I was discussing this with someone the other day. When that advert came out, it came out during Joe Lanta 20, or it might have been Toy Lanta by then. I don't remember when they changed, but it came out while I was at whichever show it was at that time. And I was getting like people messaging me, sending me links to this video. So I was showing everybody at the show this video. So I was probably responsible for that video getting into America before anyone else, because it was literally people had just seen it on TV in the UK. And then I don't know whether they recorded it off the telly or whether it was on YouTube as well or what, but they were sending me links to it. And I was showing all, like people, Paul, like Jack Hall, the Beckmans, Scott Stewart, all that lot. It was 2018. It was still at the original at the Marriott Hotel before they moved to the Hilton. So that was quite funny.
Is that the Money Market one you're talking about?
Sorry? Yeah, the Money Supermarket one.
Have you seen the eBay one with the red claw, the eBay commercial?
Yes.
That's a pretty good one too. Yeah.
I think I spoke randomly to the guy who designed the figures for that online once, because I think he actually now sells customs.
The red claw one.
Yeah, I believe he'll do a custom of it. Yeah,
where the guy's up in the loft and he tries to see his old nemesis.
It comes in with "I need a hero," doesn't it? And then
that's it.
He gets on the Chevrolet bike and it's awesome, isn't it?
That's a really good one.
Ace was just asking, was that the ad for Honda commercial? But you said it was for a Money Market.
Yeah, it was Money Supermarket. It was called. It's an insurance and
there was a Toyota commercial over here with the $6 Million Man figure.
I do remember that.
Remember that one?
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yeah. So So
I think the Honda one that Ace mentioned, wasn't that in the 90s? And it was like Joe turns up in the Honda and takes Barbie for a spin, and Ken's standing there looking like an idiot.
Yeah, they had that on Super Bowl. I think that started it and then came out.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, guys. Since none of you are G.I. Joe collectors, or maybe you are, but more Action Man. When I say Action Man, do your thoughts go back to the military Action Man, or do you think more of like our adventure team? Is that Action Man to you? Like, where do you go, Alan?
Well, this is the thing. You've got a distinct line between the two in the States because of the Vietnam War. Because we kept our own dirty little wars a bit more private. There was never quite the same backlash in the UK. So Action Man was military. Yes, there was non-military elements to it as well, like that Mountain Rescue and the Polar Explorer, the Jungle Explorer, the Footballers. So you could have whatever you wanted, but both were available throughout the run of the toy. So to me, it's military because that was what interested me. But other people would probably have a different view of it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, do you mind if I jump in there?
Nick, go ahead.
I think for me, I think.
No, Gary, you go right ahead, man. I'll come back to it. No, carry on, sir.
No, so go on. You go ahead, mate. Go on.
Okay. We're so British, aren't we? We're so no, you go. No, I'll go. You go. All right, I will go. So for me, it goes back to it's military for me because as a child, I only actually had one vintage Action Man that was gifted to me of one of the tanks. That fell apart. Mum and Dad binned it because they didn't know about restringing then. And then, of course, at almost the exact same time, G.I. Joe Hall of Fame figures were released over here as Action Man. So we got Duke Cobra, Snake Eyes, and Alan, come on, help me out here. Stalker. Thank you.
That's true.
And so it was very much sort of what they did originally before. Let's rebrand the G.I. Joe into the UK. So for me, I always liked the military and even the 90s Action Man. I know that's not loved by the older collectors here, but remember, I straddled two different generations of it myself. And even with the 90s line, when it went from being military into him being like an eco warrior with a snowboard, I get lost interest. Military, for me, it's military. Yeah, the classic stuff, it's military. For me, Action Man's Action Man. I mean, SAS is my absolute favorite of the vintage line. VAM, Vintage Action Man, in case anyone doesn't. We all know that, but some people may not know that when we're saying VAM, we're referring to Vintage Action Man. So yeah, military for me.
But see, now your Action Man went a lot longer than ours. Ours stopped in '76. You guys carried on until they shrunk them. I mean, there was no real stoppage in Action Man, was there?
Yeah, that's another thing you find that you've got another very distinct split in the G.I. Joe community between 12-inch guys and 3 3/4-inch guys because there's a gap in the middle where there was nothing available. Whereas, as you say, Action Man carried on for a little while. Action Man and Action Force were on the shelves together. So you've got people of about the age of like Tony Roberts from Analog Toys. He played with both Action Man and Action Force and then gradually got into the American G.I. Joes as Action Force was rebranded as G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So again, there is no sort of distinct breaks in the collecting group here, quite the same as there is in the States.
I mean, Gary, what were you going to say earlier?
Do you know, Paul?
Before
I
Nick cut you off,
I was going to say.
Yeah.
The military. Yeah, I think. I think for me it is the military. The other question is the military. But there was some nice non-military sets. The Emergency series, for example, some fine sets there. But to me, it was always a military. Yeah. Always a military.
Yeah. Darren, I know you have a little bit of both in your cupboard. Oh, we got no sound.
Uh-oh.
We got good video, no sound. So what he meant to say was he loves the footballers, but we got to come back to you, bro. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, he's gone. Oh shit.
Yeah, he'll pop back in. I'll bring him back in.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like internet.
Nick, being the youngest one of this group, how did you? Because you would have been more of the 3 3/4 guy, right? I mean, that was more your era.
And I was. So growing up, I actually had loads of Action Force, like, you know, the Palatoy Action Force, because my mum bought a big box of them. And it breaks my heart to know that she got rid of that box, because I know there are some figures in that which today are quite sort of sought after. So
I think that's everybody's story, isn't it? Mum getting rid of
isn't it just? It's childhood trauma. They've damaged us, so now we have to go and feed our plastic crack addictions, don't we? But long and short of it is, I got into it because I loved my original Action Man. I loved him, and I even knew as a kid that it was one of the rivet style bodies, one of the original ones. I knew as a kid that was better than what I was getting in the 90s from Hasbro, because the Hasbro ones had like these big chunky hands with like. I mean, in fairness, my original Action Man had like stumps because his fingers had dried up and fallen off. But the Hasbro ones were just chunky, and they didn't have the articulation. I even remember my dad holding Duke and going, "This ain't Action Man." Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a load of crap. This is. When I had Action Man, you could actually move him. This is crap.
Yeah.
You know, I've just spent 20 odd quid on this, which, you know, back then in the 90s was a lot for a toy, I should think. But no, that's so. Coming back to how I got into it, I was just sat there one day, and I was going through Facebook, and I found an Action Man group, and I was very curious to just get back my Action Man I had. So I got an absolute steal on eBay. I got a blonde-haired beardy, original rivet style body, although mine was a brown-haired one with a Shirley trike. The only thing that we're missing was a flagpole, and I decided to re-sticker it and make a flagpole for it. I got it for 15 quid. I just couldn't believe that. Bargains like that. So I restrung him. Restrung him, broke his body because I'm an absolute numpty, didn't understand about over tensioning it. So then I got into the groups, found another chap called Vaman who kindly sent me another torso for him. Nice. And I went, oh, I like him. I just want to, I tell you what, I really like the SAS ones because I loved the SAS Action Force figures as a kid. Right. I didn't actually know because I had no context for the story of these toys I was given. I always used the SAS guys as bad guys. They're masked. They look evil, don't they? You know, they were always the bad guys. So I'm like, oh, wow, they did a big version of that. I want to get one of those. Absolutely. Yep. And I've got the SAS ones back myself now. And I'm just going to get 1, 2, 3,
famous last
4.
Yeah.
Met Alan. Oh, come to Amcon. You'll love it. Walked away. Do you remember I got that absolute steal? I bought a figure off of was it Mark? Who was it? I bought it off of Alan.
Which figure are you talking about?
The figure that I got signed by Bob. So I've got a signed Action Man signed by Bob Breakin.
Oh, wow.
His pride of place.
Was it Stuart you got it off? Stuart Molyneux?
Yeah, I think it was, because he sold him to me for 20 quid and everyone was like, how do you do this? I'm like, I'm just cheeky. I was just like, I'll give it. I think he wanted whatever. So I've got 20 quid. If you don't want me to eat and drink tonight, then it's up to you, isn't it? But you could ruin the whole evening. Oh, just give us that, you know. And and it just got stupid to the point I had 60 plus Action Men, and I haven't got a lot of space for stuff. So I've now sold half of the figures off. I've still got 30 plus figures, but I've still got multiple uniforms. Like I said to the missus, the beautiful thing is now I can display what I've got, but when I get bored, I can change their clothes. Because, you know, in the Action Man community, you should never, you know, they say you should never say doll, but my missus loves to point out when I'm sat dressing my dollies. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you're dressing your dollies, are you?
The dollies, so, the dollies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
Hey, Darren, can you talk? Darren, you got sound back?
Yeah.
Darren, have you got a mobile phone? If you've got a mobile phone, try coming in on that, dude, rather than your tablet.
Yeah, I hate to lose them. Well, I do have a couple more questions I want to get around to everybody. So if Darren can figure it out of his sound. Is there any holy grail that you're looking for your collection? I'm going to start with Simon on this one. Any holy grail, either from the Action Man collection, either 3 3/4 or 12-inch? Well, you're just a 12-inch guy, right? You don't do 3 3/4.
Yeah, I haven't got any action. I did have Action Force when I was younger, and then you're talking about changing the subject a bit. How I got into it, I was always interested in military stuff, so I do like military Action Man. That's what really got me into it. I was influenced by a lot of things back then. The TV show that my Brit friends will know was The Professionals, CI5. That shit got me into it big time. Iranian Embassy Siege, I remember seeing that on the news, the SAS. So that things like that influenced me in it. So, but I appreciate now, since I've lived in America, I really like G.I. Joe, the Action Force stuff. I mean, I find that fascinating, like the Troubleshooter and the Mummy's Tomb stuff. I love that. I got the Mummy's Tomb kit and all the little tiny the LPs, the little 45s that go with it, the records and stuff like that. I find them, if I was to say Action Man would be the military stuff, G.I. Joe Action Force is what I really like. But answer to your question, Paul, I think one thing I really didn't want to get, which I never had, was the Action Man Command Center, the sort of bunker with the 105 gun sticking out and the Lewis gun or something. I think it was a Lewis gun sticking out of it, but never had that, and it cool as shit. I'd love to get one in the box or out the box actually, but that's on my list to get. That's on my wish list. So that's my main holy grail anyway. So
yeah, Gary, anything on your list? Holy grail?
Unusual. Well, not for us collectors. The dynamic physique pants adventurer figure, but it was a bladed figure with jeans and a sweatshirt, and extremely rare. And it's hard to get list. Oh, and there's a vehicle copter.
The assault copter, yeah. That's the black one or the green one?
Everybody there?
The green one with the missiles on the side. We can hear you.
The green. The assault copter came in 1980. Can you hear me?
That's the Action Man one you want, right, Gary?
Yeah.
Yep.
Palatoy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul?
Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
I hear you, Gary.
Yeah, the Action Man. The assault copter. There was...
Yeah.
The assault copter had basically two spring-loaded on each pylon, and there was an M60 attached to it as well. Yeah. I want to do a video on Action Man helicopters, and that's on my to get list. But of course, in terms of figure wide,
can you guys hear him?
You're breaking up there, Gary, in and out, I think, to me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit breaky.
Yeah,
it's a blue.
Darren, are you back? Can you hear us? I think Nick and Alan are the only two that.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, which is surprising because Alan's internet's normally shocking.
Yeah, but it's because I'm using my phone. I mean, you're all about the size of postage stamps.
You're finally using the phone I've been telling you to use for 2 years.
You just got to get a bigger phone, man.
I've got 2 flaming laptops with all this cameras and stuff.
Hello?
And it should.
Hey. Hello?
Hey,
yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Oh, it's gone again. It's
for a second there.
Darren, can you hear us?
So I lost you all for about 3 minutes.
There you go. You're still breaking up a bit.
It's not an Action Man live stream if there's not technical issues. I've learned this. Every Action Man live stream I've ever taken part in literally has these issues.
You're getting great connection and sound, and you're in a freaking closet somewhere. I mean,
I'm in a closet, and I live in the arse end of nowhere in the countryside. And I've got the worst internet. I'm just it's just holding up, man.
Where are you, Nick? Where do you live?
I live in a little village near a place called Blandford in Dorset.
Okay, yeah, I know Blandford.
So not a million miles from the Royal Signals.
The tank range is near there too, isn't it? Tank track.
Yeah, so Bovington is literally a 5-minute drive from me, and I still love driving through Shitterton to get there because I'm a child.
Yeah.
And Stuart Lee made that joke so funny that now I just can't not say that. But my little boy, this confused me earlier. Someone in the chat said hello, Grandad, from someone in Jackson. I've got a Jackson, a JAXON, and my little boy is upset. I mean, Alan, you've met him. What is this boy like for his knowledge, his action man, his palatoy, his tank? I mean, he is autistic, so that's one of the reasons why he's super brilliant with knowledge. But what a little character for so we have a 9-year-old in the action man community. We have a 9-year-old collector.
Fantastic.
Who knows his stuff, man.
Have you taken him to Tank Fest in Bovington?
Do you know what? We are going to the next one finally.
You've got to see the tiger in action. It's fucking great.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. You walk around the tank museum with Jackson, and he's literally memorized all the tanks now.
Well, you know, in Bovington now they got the scimitar or the scorpion with a giant great action man box above it to come down.
I've seen
yes,
pictures. I haven't seen it.
Jax knew about that before me, and my God, did he harass me. But the best thing was I took him into the tank museum. They had one of the Scorpion tanks, and they had one of the tank commanders in it.
Yeah.
And something was wrong about his hat, and Jackson was like, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Get that berry shaped a bit better than that. You know?
Yeah. I'm just like, all right. Someone's loaned it to collect. She's like, yeah, but Daddy, you wouldn't display it wrong. I'm like, no, I would. I'm known for that. Alan corrects me all the time. He's like, well, it's wrong because he's got Alan Hall's book. I've got Alan Hall's book, should I say, but they're now in Jackson's room.
Yeah.
And he's also got his own copy of My Palatoy Story. And he reads them. He's read them front to back. And so it's just incredible to hear this little kid like.
I've heard about the My Palatoy Story. I tell you what,
he's more entertaining than.
Who published that and where can I get it?
The My Palatoy Story. So that was that's Bob Breakin's
Is it an Amazon thing? Can I get it on Amazon?
No, it is still available. I think you have to. I'll get you a link or something. I can't do it at the moment because I'm on my phone, but it is still available.
Right.
Not sure where they're doing it now.
But I'm sure there's still a few copies kicking around.
Yeah.
But it's got the history of Palatoy. You know, it's Bob's story of Palatoy, and it's very informative.
But it is literally from 1912 or something. It's not just the toy period. It's from when Alfred Pallet first started. What was it called? It became British Xylonite. It had about 4 name changes before it became Palatoy.
Yeah, because they were producing toys that were literally super flammable and stuff, weren't they? They were using old celluloid to make fans and like the fans that blow on the bit.
The little windmills you buy. Which was one of the first toys that he made. But you're talking about going through Shitterton. You're forgetting that there's also Piddletrent, Hyde, and Little Tinkleton, and there's about 4 villages with slightly suggestive names around Bovington.
And of course, we ain't a million miles from Cerne Abbas, so we go through there, and every time we go through, Jackson goes, "Look at the size of his Whittler," because there's the giant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
I know that area well. When I was in the Marines, I used to go back and forth on my sniper course to Lympstone, to Sussex. Mm-hmm. I used to drive right by that area all the time, you know. So I miss that area. Beautiful place. Beautiful
Dorset. Dorset is beautiful. They say we're a bit inbred, but so what? We've got a lovely countryside.
I spent some time in Poole. Poole, you know, where the Marines base in Poole, Royal Marines Poole.
Yeah, my friend Zach was based at Poole because my sister literally lives 2 minutes. Yeah. He was in Poole. My sister lives 2 minutes from the Marine base, and again, because Dorset's not very big, it's such a military history here as well. And the thing is, I did some work in Zach's house, and he was fascinated by the Action Man stuff. And I think he ended up going out and buying himself a couple of Action Men. Because I've noticed that when we go to the shows and that, you know, lots of ex-military guys very into their Action Men. So it makes me wonder, did Action Men inspire you guys to go into the military? You know, was that part of it?
That's a funny grey area because I can't tell now. Did it probably did my interest in the military get me to Action Man, or did my interest in Action Man get me into the military? It's a funny area.
Came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Hey, there he is.
Yeah.
I can't see you guys because I'm on my phone.
We're going to start the show all over again since Darren's
Sorry.
So the
I
first
don't know what
question
happened
was
there. I really don't know what happened.
That's all right, man. Hey,
but you sound a lot better now.
It wouldn't be an Action Man live stream.
Yeah, I sound better because I'm on my phone, and that's the newest piece of kit I got. It's what I do on my YouTube channels on and that. The problem is I'm having to use the front camera, so I can't actually see you guys. So sorry, but
no, that's all right. We see you and we hear you great, man. So
fantastic.
Hey, Darren, don't touch anything, okay? Just don't touch anything.
Do you know the funny thing on the iPad? I didn't touch it. It just suddenly the screen went that way, and I don't know what happened. So.
I think your wife saw the bill for that resin thing, and she's screwing with you, man.
You know, I got
whenever me and
bless her,
whenever me
came
and
in the door. Sorry, buddy, go on.
No. I was just going to say, whenever me and Alan have had Bob Breakin on a stream, he uses an iPad, and they are notoriously bad for these streams.
Yeah, I've got MacBook Pro here, but that doesn't seem to want to know neither. So I don't know.
I think Gary might be frozen, and that's his normal puss face up there. I don't know. Is that Gary? You still with us?
No, he's moving very slightly.
No. Anyway,
his eyes are moving.
What did I miss out on? I didn't.
Well, that's what I said. You want us to start the show over again? Or are we good?
Go for it.
The last 5 minutes.
I do have one more question, other than the one I hit, the Holy Grail one, because I want to do this again some Sunday.
Yeah, I'll get it sorted by then.
When everybody's got good internet, including me. So, do you remember as a child when you stopped playing and started collecting, or was there or did you just go right into collecting? I mean, was there a time in there where it was like nothing, and then all of a sudden like Gary, you said you didn't start till what, the 90s again? I mean,
well, I was 12 when I stopped playing with toys. 12.
Yeah.
I think my last Christmas when I had Action Man was 1982. And the last Action Man outfit I had was the Action Man Special Team Ground Assault.
Oh, wow.
That's a rare kit, rare piece.
It is, and I've got that on a card and loose. In fact, I've got a video on that. Quite an old video I've got now. And I didn't really look at toys for a long, long time. Then when I was about 20, how old was I? I was 22, and I went into an old toy shop I used to know, and then I saw the 90s Action Man. I think it was what did I see first? It was the Cobra Commander and Duke. And of course, it wasn't Action Man. They just put the Action Man sticker on. I thought to myself,
the Duke. Remember the Duke? Yeah.
And I bought quite a lot of 90s Action Man. Just pay out of nostalgia. Then, 1996, they brought out the Action Man 30th anniversary. Do you remember it, Alan?
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, 30th anniversary. Now,
the big hands.
Yeah. Now, what they did, they just took the 30th anniversary G.I. Joe and rebadged him as Action Man.
Yeah.
With new packaging on. And that got kindled interest. And obviously, I went to Atlee Toys in Birmingham. That was the following year. And I bought a few Action Man. And I bought quite a few 1/6 scale figures over the years. But after a time, I lost interest. I bought a few Dragon figures. And like I say, I saw the Money Supermarket advert. And here I am now.
And now he feels epic.
Yes.
How about you, Alan? Do you remember when you stopped playing and started collecting, or?
I stopped playing with them when I was made to give them away by my father, who never liked me having them in the first place. So that would have been when I was about 12, I guess. He never liked me having them in the first place. I only ever had 2 figures. My grandmother bought me the first one, and I saved up the stars on the boxes of all the stuff that I got to get a second one. And as I say, Dad never liked me having them. He decided I was too old for them, and I was made to give them to his best friend's son, who was 2 or 3 years younger than me. So all my stuff went. I have nothing from my original childhood collection, with the exception of 5 of the 6 Corgi novels. I don't know whether you've seen them, the little paperback novels.
Yeah, those Corgi novels.
Yeah.
There's well, I had all of them except The Tough Way Out, which I borrowed from a friend and had read, but it's the only one I didn't have. I've now have a copy of it. But the other 5 are the original ones I had as a child, but I had nothing left over from my childhood collection. And then I resumed. I began collecting in probably about 88, something like that, which was not long after they disappeared from the shops. And basically, I went to see a friend. It was the first time I'd been to his house. And his house had like, it was an old cottage, and basically the bedrooms and everything were downstairs, and the living room was like a mezzanine upstairs in the roof space. And you went up the stairs, turned right into the living room. So I didn't really notice what was to the left, but there was like an open area, which was a part of the roof of the kitchen. And you couldn't put any great weight on it, but he'd had all these action men set up in a diorama. So obviously, as I turned right, I didn't see them, but as I came to leave, they were right in front of me. And I went, "Oh, you've got some of the old action men." And he went, "Yeah." He said, he knew boot sales. So he said, "Oh, if you ever see any at car boot sales, pick them up for me and I'll give you the money." So a couple of car boot sales, ended up with a couple of carrier bags full of them. And I was like, sort of tipped them all out on the bed, I think it was, in my bedroom, because I was living at home with my parents at the time. And started, like, from memory, putting things together. Oh, that helmet goes with that, and dressed a few of them up, and then went, okay, one for him, one for me. And that was how my collection started. I think he paid me for what I gave him, what the whole lot had cost me. So it basically cost me nothing to get the first couple of figures and stuff for the collection. And it went from there.
Do you remember back in the day before it was cool and fashionable to collect Action Man? You go to a car boot sale and you buy a whole bag of Action Man clothes for like 20p.
Yeah.
And now people cottoned on to how much collectible, and then you can't get them.
It gradually went up and up and up.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of times there was 2 women who basically just sold toys at one of the local car boot sales. Yeah. And every time I bought stuff from them, it was going up. They'd figured out I was, and I remember the last time I bought stuff from them, they thought they were doing really well because they put the price up yet again. Yeah. And if it hadn't been for the fact that one of the figures was an eagle-eye bearded figure, which is quite hard to find.
Yeah.
And he was holding a Walther PPK in his hand, which is one of the harder to find pistols.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have paid, if it had been a different figure and not had the pistol, I wouldn't have paid the price they were asking.
Right.
But because I could see those little bits, it was like, yeah, go on then, gave them the money. But that was the last time I ever bought anything for them, because I thought, they're getting greedy now.
They are, yeah. They cottoned onto it, yeah.
Because one of the other one of the other buys I remember having at a car boot sale was a guy who had the Jungle Explorer and the Rivercraft.
Oh, yeah.
You know how the Rivercraft came in 2 pieces?
2 halves, yeah. Yep.
2 halves.
And he had it on 2 different bits of the stall with like a figure in one. And I sort of said, how much is that? And he said, gave me a price. And I went, is that included as well? He goes, well, yeah. I said, yeah, it's actually 2 halves of the same thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay then. And he gave but the great thing was he gave me he said, oh, this is the box, the Action Man. There's a few more bits in the bottom, a couple of guns and stuff. The clips that clip the 2 halves together were in the bottom of the box. And that was one of the really hard things to find in those days.
Yeah.
So I was well chuffed with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Same question to you, Nick.
So unfortunately, it annoys me because on my 12th birthday, I remember getting the VR bloody Eagle Eye Hasbro Action Man that I wanted, and the VHS of GoldenEye, right? That was the last good birthday I had, and Christmas that year, because I'm a November baby, for toys and stuff. And because the following year on my, I'd gone up to high school, and my parents were, you're too old to play with toys now. So I was like, what? So I had a birthday, my 13th birthday, and I got like a polo neck jumper and a body spray set. And I was like, and I can remember thinking, this is shit. If this is what being an adult is, I don't want to be one. Frankly, this is crap. I don't want to do it. And and so I was sort of forced out of it almost by ridicule as well. My sisters would take the mick out of me because I'd sort of sneak in my room because I had like vintage Star Wars figures and Power of the Force 2 Star Wars figures, a Star Wars guy, my action men, and I still wanted to play because, and I think the problem was because I've always been a bit like I've been this size since I was 12. Do you know what I mean? So the body grew quick, but the mind didn't. So, I mean, the mind hasn't overly matured now, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, that it was around that age, 13. It was sort of like, nope, too old now. And it. I don't know if you guys remember the first Christmas where you got body spray. That's fantastic, but I'd rather have an action man. And then the only solace that came was I got a play. Yeah, well, I wear Brute now because it's the smell of a man. But then I got into playing computer games because that was acceptable. I could sit and play PlayStation or Mega Drive. I remember getting my PlayStation. That was fine because that's more grown up, isn't it? But I still always yearn those toys. And then when me and Carla, my wife, we've been together nearly 20 years now. But when we bought our first house together, we had a bookcase, and toys started to creep onto it. And it was filling up with toys, Doctor Who toys, because we're big, huge Whovians, right? Me and my missus even had Doctor Who figures on our wedding cake. And
that's awesome.
And this bookcase was filling up, and then we moved because 30 seconds of magic. I made the joy of my life my son, the drain of my resources. And we moved. So when we moved into this place, we went, we're going to make this place a bit more mature. We're going to not have all the toys on display. Well, that lasted till he was about 6 months. And I was like, hang on, this is crap again, because he's got all his toys out everywhere. I want my toys out. So then the collecting just took off. And of course, I've never pushed Jackson into anything, but he's got his own collection, and it's great. He collects the same stuff as I do. Although I have got to stop. I did have to have a word with him because he found some Action Force stuff at a local place in Blandford at like a rummage sale, and he paid for the stuff, and he goes to him, and you didn't charge nearly enough for these. I'm like, no, that's not how this works, man. You don't tell people that. But he's too honest. He's honest. This thing,
he's honest, man.
He's honest. Lie. He don't lie. It's just like, oh my God, he doesn't lie. I mean, autism's a fantastic thing, man. I mean, no two types are the same, but my boy, very high functioning, very intelligent, but uber honest. And sometimes I'm like, dude, you don't need to say that. No one needs to. Don't drop yourself in it, man. But yeah, so that's the answer to it. I hope.
Hey, Simon, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Why don't you take that same question? Why don't you finish this up? Because I don't know if Action Fan's going to come back. He's in and out. Why don't you take that same question?
I've just got something to show Nick real quick, because me and my brother was a big Whovian, big time. And this picture here I've on my phone, you may not be seeing, it's from 1980. Can you not see that?
Is closer without the glare. Yeah, right there.
I'm just any way you can make him large? There.
Yeah, hang on. I don't want to lose him. Hang on, one sec.
It's a police box.
That's from 1980. Me and my brother, because my brother had the Dennis Fisher.
Did you use Atomic Man?
No, that's Action Man and a Dennis Fisher Tom Baker. There were different scales. The Dennis Fisher Doctor Who was like one scale.
I'd love some of that Doctor Who stuff.
And I've still got it. I've still got that Dennis Fisher.
I'm back.
But they were amazing. The thing is, they were different scales, so it was always funny when we used to play. We'd have scenarios, and the fucking the Doctor Who was way shorter, like he was like a midget compared to the Action Man. It was just one of them funny things. But I thought I'd share that with you.
Hey, Darren. Darren,
no, that's excellent.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Stop touching shit, okay? You're making us dizzy, man.
It ain't. It just keeps dropping. I don't know what's going on.
No, it never dropped. We just keep seeing we see all part of your room so far. So
it's like a badly edited episode of Blue Peter with the hands everywhere on the screen.
All right.
In answer to your question, Paul, when I was about 14, started not playing. I still had them, but I liked them. And then I did other things. I went in the Marine Cadets, and then was working. I always had a few I kept behind, but never played and never collected. And then my brother met a guy called Mick back in the early 90s that he collected shit you would not believe. He had everything from a packet of Cocoa Puffs from the 60s that was Thunderball, or the James Bond stuff that was just random, amazing stuff he had. And he gave me an SAS key figure. And that kind of got me back into it. And then in 96, they did the 40th anniversary stuff. And I started buying those and then recollecting from that point. So there was a lull in the period. But I guess I started collecting in the early 90s or mid-90s, I guess. So that's
and your kids collect a little bit, yeah? I mean, I know you got the two.
Yeah, they collect all sorts of stuff. And my son loves his British heritage, Liam. Anything British, Doctor Who, big time. Star Wars, and they collect what's Judge Dredd. They like that kind of lot of 2000 AD comics. Which every time I go back to Blighty, I go and pick up some 2000 ADs in the local comic store, and so they're pretty well rounded in their collections of stuff.
I'll tell you a funny story about 2000 AD. I am actually friends with the daughter of Tharg the Mighty.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
A guy called what's his name? Colin Wyatt.
Yeah.
He worked on 2000. He used to answer the letters page as Tharg the Mighty.
Did he really? Oh God, I remember every.
I've actually got a couple. I've got a couple of his daughter used to live here in North Wales, and he lives down on Canvey Island. And she had to move. She was moving back to Canvey Island, and I had a van at the time, so I took all her stuff and her down to Canvey Island, and I stayed the night in a spare room before I came back. So I spent the evening with her and her parents. And he signed. I had a couple of I had a Rogue Trooper annual and a couple of Drudge Dredd or something that he would have worked on, and he signed them for me.
Oh wow, that's a fucking great story. That's awesome.
Wow.
Hey Darren.
Yeah.
So the last question we asked about a half hour ago. we'll get it to you. Do you remember? Don't touch your phone. Don't touch anything. Just talk. Do you remember when you stopped playing and started collecting, or was there no transition? You just been collecting all the time? Did you ever stop?
Yeah, I do remember a time. I think it was when I found girls. I remember I used to be away from the house a lot, and I remember a particular time, I can't remember exactly what I was doing. The wife's here. No, but I can't. I was away, and I think I'd got a girlfriend, and I was away a lot. And I remember coming home one day after a month or something, staying at my girlfriend's, and I can't remember the age, but and I remember my brother, rest in peace, by the way. I remember him saying to me that my parents saying to me that your brother come round. Your brother said you're too old to play with toys, so he threw them in the skip. Now, in hindsight, they probably sold them, and that's their story. But I remember that day, and I think it was Nick who said it was quite traumatic. I love my X-Men. They weren't toys; they were friends to me. They were my friends. So I remember that day vividly. Unfortunately,
that day sucks when it happens. You got to bear in mind, I grew up. I was the only boy of 5 kids, 4 sisters. So when I wasn't being dressed up or having makeup put on me, I was then being ridiculed for playing with dolls. I mean, you can't win, can you?
No, you can't.
Yeah.
But they're definitely. I don't know about you guys, but they seem to have a soul. You know what I mean? It's like when you were talking. I was listening to you guys while I was in and out. When you were talking about the 90s, Nick. I heard Nick say about the snowboarder. Was it a snowboarder? Well, incidentally, the snowboarder is one of my favourite 90s ones. But they haven't got souls. If you look at the earlier Action Men's faces, I mean, they all seem to
every face is different, man.
Yeah,
even though
exactly.
It's the same.
Yeah.
One of the things my mum said years ago
was that you can take the same figure, and just by changing the outfit, the character of the face changes.
Yeah, I think
that's true. The early ones have a distinct. You can tell them apart. I mean,
I can. Yeah.
Well, that blonde-haired beardy I got on that eBay deal I mentioned earlier. The thing is, I let Jackson play with him, and Jackson sort of ended up with him, and I got another blonde-haired beardy, right? And I swapped him out because he called it Ian the Action Man, and no kidding, the next day he's like, "That's not Ian." But it's the same figure, man. He knew straight away. And you can. So Ian the Action Man or the other blonde beardy, which is now on my shelf as an adventurer, they do look different. But I couldn't even dupe a kid. So it's...
if I can bring you up big here. Huh? That guy.
Can you see me all right?
Look at it.
Mini-me.
That's gray beardy. That's not blonde beardy. That's gray beardy.
Yeah, that's gray beardy.
It's a mini-me.
By the way, Mick Coxey.
When are you getting in the mini action fan t-shirt?
Oh, yeah, good idea. I didn't think about
that. Yeah, definitely.
It was funny because when Mick Cox did this for me, he asked for a picture of my hair, and I said, don't give Action Man the bald bit at the top of the back here, please. I said, make sure you fill it in for him. Don't be so cruel, you know.
You'd want 25% discount if you did, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Yeah. I said, I don't wish that on any Action Man. It's hard enough for a bloke.
Hey, we're over the hour mark. I hope you guys don't mind, but I kept you a little bit longer. I know it's a school night for Alan. Alan's got to work tomorrow, so.
That's not too bad.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry that I kept going out. It's a shame.
That's fine. We're definitely going to do this again, man. This was fun, and I want to learn a little bit more about Action Man. The reason I got you guys together is because I'm starting my own kind of Action Man. You guys know this guy,
Baron Ironblood.
Yes, sir, and he's not 6. He's not 3 3/4. He's 12-inch figure. So.
No.
Oh right, cool. If you're holding anything up, I can't see it.
No, you're gonna have to go to my YouTube channel and watch this all over again later, man.
Yeah,
Murray Corrigan's been texting into you guys, and he loves all your stuff. He follows all your channels. Murray wanted to get in on this, and he's from Canada, man, but he's a big time Action Man collector. So he's been in the chat room there chatting away.
Bring him in on
Murray. We're gonna have to get you on next time since Darren can't seem to have a good internet. We're gonna have to kick him off and. We'll get a Canadian in here and get his version of Action Man.
It's normally me who's not allowed back on stuff. That's amazing.
What did you say your
Closet Boy, we like you, man. We you got good internet.
Closet Boy.
Closet Boy. Where did you say you lived again? Are we putting you in a cupboard, mate?
That's right. Put me in a cupboard. Hey, I don't know if you guys watched my channel, but at the end of all my live streams, I like to do a little trivia. And it's just true or false, so not real hard. You got a 50-50 shot here. We go around the room 3 times and ask everybody 3 questions, just true and false. And today's trivia is on UK. On the UK. So I expect 100% from everybody here, okay?
Yeah, right.
I didn't even know till the other day that Scotland uses a unicorn as their animal. So
that might be one of my questions. Why'd you just blew the answer, dude? All right, I'm starting at the top with Alan. Alan, can you hear me, sir?
Yep, go ahead.
Your question is this. Stamps, as in postage stamps, originated in the United Kingdom. True or false?
True.
That is true, sir.
Penny black.
Penny
Simon.
black.
Yes.
Stonehenge is older than the pyramids. True or false?
True.
That is true. That's a good guess, man.
I knew it, honestly.
Oh, did you really?
I didn't.
Gary, the import of haggis to the U.S. has been banned since 1970. True or false?
Wow.
Don't give him the answer by giving head indications, Alan.
I lost connection. Did he say true or false? Simon, did he say true or false?
He's true. Lip reading, he's saying true.
He said true.
Yeah.
True.
I got to run to your computer, bro. Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back,
Hello.
man.
Can you guys hear me?
Hello,
We can hear you, man.
Hello.
Oh,
You're there. You're there.
I
You're
can hear
here.
you. I can hear you.
You guys froze up.
No.
Simon,
me
can you hear me?
Simon's gone. I think he's in the green room.
Oh, we just lost Simon.
Yeah. And Gary's
just lost
audio
Simon.
seems to be off.
Oh, I didn't touch nothing.
Oh, there you
I
are.
am.
There you are.
There he is.
True.
He said true, and it is true. That is true. Haggis has been banned since 1970.
That's because it's got lungs in it. You can't eat lungs in America.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
we don't like that. We'll do pig's feet. We'll do pig's feet, but we won't do lungs. Yeah.
I did look into
So who do
bringing
we
a
go
tin
to,
of it over to America sometime, because you can actually get tinned haggis.
Yeah.
Because if I try and bring a fresh one, the sniffer dogs will pick it up. But
No, they won't let you do that. I've
not
tried.
in a can. Yeah.
Don't sneak in your underpants, for God's sake.
So Nick, this one will go to you. Scotland's national animal is a goat. Is that true or false, sir?
False.
And what would be the answer?
It's a unicorn.
It is a unicorn. Yes, sir. It is a unicorn.
I didn't know that.
I guess Darren, you're up next.
Go on in.
During the 70 years on the throne, during her 70 years on the throne, Queen Elizabeth II had visited over 100 countries without a passport. True or false?
True.
That is true. She never had a passport.
She didn't need it, did she?
It's issued in her name, so she can't have one.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Is that why?
Yeah.
So everybody got a question. Round 2, right? We're on round 2?
Round 2.
Alan, back to you.
Yeah. Okay.
60% of the tea drinkers in the UK add milk to their tea. True or false?
I would say that's true.
That is
False, I'd
false,
say more.
sir. It is 98%.
Yeah, I'd say more, yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a deceiving question.
Yeah,
there.
the question was a bit
tricky
loaded.
one.
I thought you were saying.
You
Yeah.
have to be on the ball. You're all a bit.
I don't even drink tea. I hate the stuff. I drink coffee.
What?
I can tell you a funny story about that.
Americanized.
Yeah.
What do you dip your biscuits in?
Hey,
Coffee. Well, I don't very rarely dump biscuits because I don't eat a lot of biscuits.
Oh, I love biscuits. You can't.
So do I, but unfortunately, I'm trying to lose weight. So.
Yeah, I've been trying for 50 years.
Gary's losing light. We got to get this question to Gary right now. Brits drink a lot of tea, about 36 billion cups per year. What do you think? True or false? 36 with a B, billion. Yep, it is true, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna write to Nick. The first king of England made a law that everyone had to be in bed by 10 p.m. True or false?
I'm just gonna say false because I got no idea.
It is false. It was actually 8 p.m.
Oh.
It was actually 8 p.m. Darren.
Yeah.
There are more chickens in England than people. Kind of a weird question.
Yeah, that is a weird question. I'm thinking about how many KFCs I've had. No, I think that's true. Go on, go for it.
Man, you guys are doing good. That is true. I don't think anybody's missed one yet. Simon, you're up. Big Ben refers to the clock in London. True or false?
False.
That is false, and it is
the bell.
It's the bell.
The bell. Yes, sir. It is the bell. London. We're back. Last round, yeah?
Yep.
London has over 170 museums, including the British Museum, which is a popular tourist attraction. True or false, Alan? 170 museums.
Yeah, true.
That is true. Yes, sir.
Wow.
I didn't think there'd be that many. That's more than DC, I think.
Didn't think it was big enough for that.
Yeah. Gary.
Yeah, you've got lots of really
The UK
small ones and military museums and regimental museums and stuff. So,
yeah. Gary, you're up. The UK's national dish is fish and chips. True or false?
Oh.
Did anybody translate what he said? I can't.
He fell asleep.
No,
I think he said false.
It is false. Anybody know what it is?
Curry.
It is
Pie mash
chicken.
and liquor. Pie mash and liquor.
oh, chicken tikka masala, isn't it?
Yep.
That's right.
Chicken
Oh, is
masala,
it?
yeah. Chicken tikka
Yeah,
masala.
they made that just for English people, didn't they? Out of
I think that was. I think actually it's not actually the national dish. It's the most popular dish. I think possibly your question was slightly wrongly worded there.
Yeah, sort it out, Paul. Will you?
I got it from a UK website. I mean, come on, it's got to be right.
He got it from the internet. It's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
Hey, Nick, you're up. Last round. In the UK, you are never more than 70 miles, or in your case, 113 kilometers from the sea at any point.
True.
That is true, sir. Yes.
Wow.
Darren.
Yes.
The Great Fire of London destroyed large parts of the city and killed 150 people. True or false?
False.
That is false.
Killed a lot more people than that.
I think it killed less.
It had 8 casualties, only 8.
Oh,
Yeah,
did it?
I thought it was 6 or 7, but 8. Yeah, that's about right.
Was that started? What was the name of the place it was started?
Pudding Lane.
was it?
Pudding Lane. Yeah, Pudding
Baker's
Lane.
shop.
My
in
God,
Pudding
maybe I
Lane.
did pay attention at school.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't all wasted.
Yeah, but ain't it like that? I've got it's in there, but it just needs someone to tell me before I know it. How about that?
This is unfair because Simon, you're the only one that did active duty, I think. England was part of the shortest war in history. True or false? Shortest war.
I think I saw that.
Time-wise.
I'm just going to go with true.
Oh, so you're guessing?
Yeah.
I figured you knew this one. It is true. It was Zanzibar in 1896. They surrendered in 38 minutes.
Wow.
That's quick.
That's a quick war, man.
That was even quicker than the Iraqis.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
That's quicker than I surrendered to my missus.
Here's a bonus question for anybody. Anybody that wants it. I'm pronouncing this wrong, I'm sure. Hamleys of London, Limited.
Yep.
Is London's oldest and largest toy shop, having been founded in 1760.
True.
Yeah.
Oldest toy store, yeah?
I would say true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Is it still around? I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, it's still there.
Awesome.
We don't knock anything down in England. It's not like America where we rebuild new, but literally, I mean, my house is from 1815 or something.
Wow.
We just don't knock nothing down.
That's older than America, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think I'm older than America. Sorry, mate.
Hey, I want to thank all you guys. I'm sorry the internet was in and out for all of us, but
sorry.
It's all good, man. It's all
it was a
good.
good show, I think, and I'd
Really
like to get
sorry.
you all back on again. Maybe not Darren, but the rest of you guys. I'd like
Definitely. Come on, Darren, come back. We want Darren back.
Come
on,
Darren's great, man.
You know what I'm going to tell you, then you, Paul? Get in the cupboard.
I know. I'm getting in the cupboard, man. Hey, everybody, have a great week, and once again, thank you from the UK, from the US. I'll see everybody tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the U.S. side and 1 in the morning your side, right? 2 in the morning, something like that.
Sweet.